Are you looking to pass your life and health insurance exam in a short amount of time? That's exactly what I did. I passed my life and health insurance exam in just 4 days. And in this video, I'm going to show you the steps that I took to do that and a couple of the tips that I learned along the way, as well as a couple of the tools that I learned and used to pass my life and health exam in a short amount of time. So before we dive into the steps and the tips and the strategies that I use, the first thing we need to look at is, why are you taking this exam, right? Obviously, you're on this video, you want to pass in a short amount of time, or you just want to pass in general. But the goal is to become a life and health insurance agent, right? It's to sell life and health insurance. So, with that in mind, you don't necessarily need to know every little detail in the certifying or the licensing course, right? And a lot of people say, well, Adam, I do feel like I need to know it because I'm going to be a life insurance agent or a health insurance agent, right? But the reality is, most of what you're going to learn will actually be on the job. It'll be learning from your mentors once you become an agent, and you're going to learn as you sell the life and health insurance that you're going to be selling with the company that you choose, right? And so the goal of going through the training and learning the things that you need to learn to pass is just that, right? It's learning to pass the test, because the majority of what you'll learn is in the actual doing of selling the life or health insurance. And so that's the first thing we need to realize is, hey, why are we taking this? Why are we actually going to be a life and health insurance agent? Is it just to pass the test? No, it's going to actually be selling. And what the majority of what you'll learn to become a really good life and health insurance agent will be actually on the job and from the mentorship and from your company. And so the goal here in this video is just to get you to pass. And so we'll go through the steps now. So with that in mind, what do we need to do in order to pass the life and health insurance exam? Well, the first thing we need to do is realize we don't have to really go through all of the materials or know all of the terms, right? We just have to pass the test. And so what that looked like for me was, I'm not going to go through and listen to all of the lectures. I'm not going to go through and read all of the terms that I need to know, right? And that is one of the keys to passing really fast. And so when I went through my training material, yes, I paid attention a little bit, but I just kind of had it on in the background as I was doing other things. And so I kind of learned by osmosis, if you will. But what really helped me was going through and utilizing a tool called Quizlet. And that's just a flashcard. It's a flashcard software, a flashcard company. I'll link it in the description below. You can take a look at that. I use the paid version, but I think you can also use the free version. That helped me learn the terms that I needed to know to go forward with the quizzes. And so that's the second tip that I would give you, is go and take the quizzes 100 times each. I went and took each quiz, I think I went and took each quiz 5 times in each of the chapters. And then I went and took the end exam 2 or 3 times before I went and scheduled the final exam. And so with Quizlet, you can actually go and look at a lot of people have already created the content on the flashcards. And so what I did was I just searched for, I live in the state of Texas, and I'm getting my Texas license. So I just searched for the Texas and then whatever chapter I was on, and I searched quiz, right? So Texas, the chapter you're on, quiz. And from there, I just used the flashcards a bunch, and then I went back to the software or the training company that I was with, and I just went and answered those questions. And that's really what helped me. All right, guys, so I'm in Quizlet here on my desktop. Now, they do have mobile application for your phone or your iPad or your Amazon Fire, whatever that looks like. they have really good technology that will allow you to have any of your devices. So if you're worried about that, don't worry. That's not a big issue because they are really good with technology. So here you can see this is life insurance and health insurance terms you need to know. So you can go here, look at that. If you look at my library, I used Excel solutions for my training provider. And so I just researched Excel solutions, final exam. And if we click on that, you can see that wasn't me. Somebody else created that for me. So if you look at this, you can see what this looks like. So this is, the flashcards that somebody else created for me. So this is a question in the final exam, right? So what is the insurance term the state of California uses for an insurer that is eligible to transact business in this state? Click on it, and it is admitted, right? That's the answer. So the next one would be this. You can see what that looks like. The cool thing with Quizlet is if you click on Learn, they have a couple of different options that we can do, right? So if you start Learn, they basically give you multiple choice, right? So who does a life settlement broker represent, right? And it'll tell you that you got the wrong or right answer. You can just click on Continue and go through all of these, and it has a really cool learning option, and it's not just flashcards, right? That's pretty cool. You can also take a test. Up here, you can see true or false, whatever that looks like. You can also go through and do matching. So you can match them, so it's kind of a game style, right? So you can see what all of these look like, right? So if you pair it with this, pair it with that, that's not the right answer. So you can see the questions and the answers. So you have to pair, obviously, the answers with the questions. So that wasn't right? So it's kind of a game, which is pretty cool. It allows you to learn at a better rate than you would just listening to a training material. So that's Quizlet. And then you go through, once you feel really good about all the terms, about all the quizzes, and you feel like you passed. I felt really good when I passed the exam twice with over 75% pass rate, right? Because you only need a 70% to pass your state's licensing in a life and health insurance exam. So if I got 75% twice, I was just like, I'm going to go for it. And if I don't get it, then I'm just going to schedule it again, right? And it costs me X amount of money. And that might be a big deal to you, but for me, time is more valuable. And so I wanted to pass as fast as humanly possible. And that's my last tip is cram. I know that's probably not a good education tool for the long term, but again, your only goal is to pass the life and health insurance exam. So if your only goal is to pass, you don't necessarily need to be an expert before you take the test. Cram an amount of the training into a short period of time, then you're going to be able to remember a lot of that much better, so that when you take the test, you remember all of those quiz answers. And when you remember all of the quiz answers, then you'll pass the test. And so those are kind of my tips, right? So go through and do a broad overview of all of the chapters. Listen in the background, whether you're doing dishes or you might be doing work at your current job or whatever that looks like. Just have it on in the background and listen like it would be a podcast. And then go to Quizlet, do the search terms, the terms that are in each chapter. Just get a good idea of what those look like, and then just go to the quizzes on Quizlet. Feel like you have a good understanding and a good grasp of the concepts and the quiz there. Then go to the actual test and take the test online with your training provider. And then go to the final exam. Once you've gone through all the chapters, you can go to the final exam, do the same thing on Quizlet, and then go to the actual exam. Take the test. Do it exactly like you would do it for the test that you're going to take. I took my test proctored on the computer. I'm lucky to be able to do that in the state of Texas. And I don't know if that was a COVID thing or not, but if it is available to you, take those tests like you would take it for the real thing. And so then once you pass those twice or 3 times, over 70%, and you feel good about taking the test and giving it a shot, schedule your exam and take your exam. All right, so that's my broad overview of how I passed the life and health insurance exam. If you guys have any questions or comments, comment down below. I'd love to help you. If you're looking for a really good insurance company, I personally have partnered with Symmetry Financial Group. I've got a bunch of videos, and you can search that in the cards or in the description below. So if you want to chat with me, link in the description below. And again, if you guys need anything, comment down below. I'd love to help. And if you want more videos based on insurance and growing your insurance business, make sure that you subscribe, click the bell notification so you get notified when I put new videos out. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.